Hello everyone, PallyTime here with TGN.TV. BlizzCon is going on right now, and a lot of new information is coming out incredibly quickly about the Mists of Pandaria expansion. One of those things that really caught my eye is Blizzard is trying to make an honest attempt at making your character unique from another character. Basically, they're trying to take talent builds and remove the cookie cutterness and actually give you a sense of choice in your talents. And I know what you're thinking, because I was thinking the same thing. They've done that before. But looking at this spell selection, they're actually pretty meaningful decisions. Let's take a look. These are the tier 1 choices for any mage character regardless of spec. So from my understanding, again, this may be wrong, this information is incredibly new, and it may not be 100% accurate, but as far as I understand, any spec of mage can get these talents. So you can pick between Ring of Frost, Cone of Cold, and Frostjaw. Now, Frostjaw is a silence and a freeze on a target for 8 seconds. Cone of Cold is a frontal cone AoE that slows your target for 60%. And Ring of Frost puts a circle on the ground that freezes any targets that come into it. So what Blizzard is trying to do is give you a choice of what you want to pick here. So in the comments below, I would love to hear what you guys think you would go with. I would personally go for Ring of Frost for a few reasons, and mainly that is because later down the line there's another spell I would pick from. For the tier 2 choices that you will have access to at level 30, we have Greater Invisibility, Cauterize, and Cold Snap. Cold Snap basically resets all of the Frost spell cooldowns that you currently have. So let's say you just ice blocked and you want to ice block again, we'll hit Cold Snap. And Cold Snap itself has an 8-minute cooldown. Cauterize will basically save you if you know how to use it. If your health hits 0, you pop back up to 60% and get a debuff that quickly eats your health back down to 0 again. So all you have to do is ice block and you will be saved once your health pops back up. Now, Greater Invisibility is interesting to me. I don't currently know all of the details about the normal invisibility. Is this going to be a separate invisibility, or is this going to be the only invisibility we have now? I'm not very sure. But I personally would be going with Cauterize here, because I think it would save my life in a lot of situations. For your tier 3 selections that you get at level 45, you get the choice of Presence of Mind, Scorch, and Arcane Flows. Presence of Mind allows one cast that is under 10 seconds, which honestly is basically every mage spell. It allows one cast to be an instant cast spell, and it has a 1.5 minute cooldown. You have Scorch, which has a 1.5 second cast and a 40-yard range. You should be very familiar with Scorch, once again, if you are a fire mage, and you can cast that on the move indefinitely with no cooldown. And then Arcane Flows lets you cast 2 non-instant cast spells on the move. So let's say there's a movement phase coming up and you're an Arcane Mage, you can do an Arcane Blast followed by an Arcane Barrage, and that will not use up the entire buff. Once you do the second Arcane Blast, it will get rid of the buff. Personally, I would go with Scorch. I would like to have the security of knowing I can move and attack whenever I want, and not when I'm just waiting on a cooldown personally, even though Scorch does not seem to do a lot of damage in that screenshot there. At level 60, you are given the choice between Mana Shield, Blazing Speed, and Ice Barrier. Now, Mana Shield basically just absorbs damage, and instead of dealing that damage to your health, it deals it to your mana. And when the shield absorbs as much as it can, it's going to explode and do a tiny knockback. Now, don't think you're going to be an elemental shaman knocking people off of cliffs reliably, at least, because you won't be. It's a very small knockback. Blazing Speed has actually changed from how it is in the game right now. In the game right now, if you are hit with a melee weapon or melee attack, you have a chance to get the movement speed increased to get the hell away. This form of Blazing Speed is a cooldown, so if you are in roots or you're in a slow, any type of movement impairing ability, it's going to get rid of that movement impairing ability and give you a 50% speed increase for 4 seconds. Now, that has a 1 minute cooldown, and my first instinct was to go with that, because I thought it was the same as it is in the game right now, but it's not. So I'm definitely going to be going with Ice Barrier, which is basically the reason that Frost Mages have as much survivability as they do, in my opinion. Just absorbs a lot of damage, lasts 1 minute, and has a 30-second cooldown. For the tier 5, which is at level 75, is entirely focused on your spell Polymorph. You either get Sickly Polymorph, Heavy Polymorph, or Double Polymorph. As far as sickly polymorph goes, your polymorph targets regenerate life at 10% of their normal speed. So, as most of you know, in PvP, if you CC a target at low health with a polymorph, he is going to heal back quite quickly, and that's kind of a way of lessening that heal. Heavy polymorph will add a stun effect if the polymorph is broken, and that stun effect cannot happen more than once every 10 seconds. So, let's say you want to get a quick stun off in PvP, you could polymorph someone and then hit them with an instant cast spell right after, and they will be stunned for a few seconds. Now, double polymorph is, to me, a PvE talent, and I think that's what I'll be going with. You may polymorph an additional target for half the normal duration. So normal polymorph duration in PvE is 60 seconds, and that would mean you could polymorph 2 targets for 30 seconds and you would just have to renew it again. I mean, that seems like a very powerful spell in PvE. In PvP, not so much, because you'll have a target polymorph for 8 seconds, and then if you go to try to polymorph another one, it'll be for 4 seconds, and keep in mind they are both healing at the same time. So I'm not sure which one I would pick. For PvE, it would definitely be the double polymorph. For PvP, I think it might be the heavy polymorph. For your tier 6 choices, you're going to have to wait until level 90, but you get to pick between Blast Wave, Dragon's Breath, and Slow. Now, Blast Wave and Dragon's Breath should be incredibly familiar to any current fire PvPer, and Arcanes are very familiar with Slow because I believe it is a mandatory talent. But Blast Wave is just an AoE that you can put down anywhere within 40 yards, and if you hit a target, it is slowed by 70% for 30 seconds, and also does, some insignificant AoE damage. Dragon's Breath is a frontal cone AoE that will disorient your target, or anyone you hit, for 5 seconds. And Slow is a single target cast that will slow a target by 50% for how long? 15 seconds, and also reduces their casting speed and attack speed. So personally, I would go with the Dragon's Breath. I use that spell. It is my bread and butter. Just run up to someone, daze them, and then run away and laugh and scorch them and watch them burn in a ball of fire behind me. But I would love to know what you guys think of, first of all, these changes, and I would love to know what you think you will be picking if you play a mage. And are you excited about these changes? So many questions. I just want to hear from you guys in the comments. I do read all of the comments, and I would be very interested. So again, this has been PallyTime with TGN.TV. I hope you guys liked this video. I sure did enjoy making it, and thank you all for watching.